Good morning, everybody. My name is Jared O'Leary. I've been drumming since 1998, and I still got plenty to work on. Today, I'm going to be practicing limb independence, and I'm working off of some different books that I've been going through. So this one is the one that I went through for like the last year or so. It's called 50 Ways to Syncopation by Don Moyle, and there's 50 ways to practice limb independence inside of here. Now, I've gone through all 50 of those, and now I'm working on some bonus ones that I kind of came up with that I'll be working on today. There's 2 of them, and they are a wee bit difficult. The way that I'm practicing this is largely based off of Gary Chester's idea of limb interdependence that he talks about in New Breed 1 and New Breed 2. Now, in these practice streams, there's over 460 of them. You can find timestamps in the description to show what I was practicing across all of these few hundred different live streams, as well as timestamps showing what I was talking about. Think of this as like office hours. I'm here to practice, and if you have questions about how to get better as a performer or as an educator, feel free to ask them. Because I've been drumming for almost 30 years, and because I have a bachelor's, master's, PhD, and I've taught every grade kindergarten through doctoral student, I'll get a variety of questions about how to get better as a performer or as an educator, and I'll often edit those answers and put them into this drumming tips playlist that has just under 16 hours. Actually, I think over 16 hours now. It might be like exactly 16 hours. It's got around 16 hours of drumming tips and over 100 videos in here. The first thing I talk about is whatever the title is, and then if it says and other drumming tips or and other teaching tips, that means there are more tips in there. So just check the timestamps to see if something is of interest to you in each one of these videos, in case the title is not of interest to you. Now, I am not good at limb independence yet. Most of my drumming's been rudimental and then concert percussion, and less than 1% of my time has been on this, on limb independence. So I need Shia LaBeouf here to help motivate me. We're going to hide him because of copyright. Shia, help me out. Do it. Just do it. Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it. Make your dreams come true. Just do it. Some people dream success. Well, you're going to wake up and work hard at it. Nothing is impossible. You should get to the point where anyone else would quit, and you're not going to stop there. No, what are you waiting for? Do it. Just do it. Yes, you can. Just do it. If you're tired of starting over, stop giving up. Oh, wow, Shia LaBeouf. Everybody is super motivated now. Ooh, one more flex for good luck. Thank you so much. Now, today, I'm practicing limb independence. And we've gone through over 50 of these limb independence variations, and I've put them in the spreadsheet. This spreadsheet, in column A, keeps track of, on average, how am I doing while playing this. So the one that I always point out is ding, 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 hi-hat on 2 and 4. You play eighth notes, swung on the snare drum, and longer, any notes longer than an eighth note on the bass drum. And if we scroll along here, you can see these are all the previous times that I played with their starting BPM, how the quality of the playing was, and then how I felt while playing through it. And on average, in column A, it says that I've done this one technically proficient, which means I feel comfortable playing it. I'm playing the ink on the page. But some of them say musical, which means I'm adding in extra timbres, extra textures to make it sound more interesting, musically speaking, than just playing technically proficient. The goal is to get all of them to there. But what I've done over the last year or so of streaming is go through each one of these, and any one of them that are not technically proficient or musical, I just sit with and I keep working on until, on average, it gets technically proficient. So we've graduated from all of these, and there are 2 left that I'm going through that I've made up. And the one that I'm going to warm up with is this pattern. So this pattern, instead of playing 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a... What you're going to do instead is treat this as triplets. So you'll go... Okay, so... Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play da 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 with hi-hat on 2 and 4 while I read through some charts, and I'm gonna play eighth notes on the snare drum and anything longer than eighth notes on the bass drum. Now, what charts are you talking about? The charts on my YouTube channel's home tab. There are quite literally thousands of free exercises. You can find them organized in my home tab of YouTube, or if you go to the link at the top of each one of these thousands of free play-alongs, it takes you to here. There's currently 80 chop exercises. Like yesterday, I was working on some shopping sprees. There's 29 of them at the moment in this particular playlist. There's over 1,000 grid variations here to keep you busy for quite some time. I'd highly recommend focusing on rudiment on one, and then you can get into the wackier stuff if you'd like to. This is where I'm practicing today. There's 55 straight drum charts, and then the exact same charts, but with a swung play-along, so you can practice some jazz patterns, some swung patterns. Every one of these playlists links to how to develop limb independence on the drum kit. In case you don't know how to do that, this video has several steps that you can follow using these free resources to do that. There's almost 500 marching bass drum exercises. I'd highly recommend marking time and playing along to all these timing ones down here, and then you can get into the wackier splits and whatnot. There's a bunch of cadences in here in score format. There's also over 200 sight reading exercises, and there's over 400 technique exercises organized in a different playlist to work on different things. And then there's over 16 hours of free drumming tips in here. All of these are scripted lessons where I talk about a specific topic, like how to hold traditional grip or whatever. But this one, the drumming tips playlist, again, is the one where I'm answering questions during these live streams, and I edit them and put them into this drumming tips playlist. So it's kind of like a potpourri of a variety of different topics that people have asked me over all the different streams. Now, I'm going to play swung pattern. Whoop. And I'm going to play it at 125. So I went into this playlist, and there's 55 charts in here. And I'm going to just go ahead and go with, I don't think I played some of these. So let's try that. Unmute it, and let me change the resolution. And in the timestamps of all these thousands of free play-alongs, you can pick a specific BPM. I'm going to say 125. And it's going to count off in my headphones. You can't hear it on your end. There's a sync delay, so I've muted it on your side, but I can hear it. Then I'm going to play along to it. 1, 2, ready, and... Eighth notes on the snare. Swung. Anything longer on bass. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, and... Messed up the hi-hat on that third line. Whoopsies. And then on the first, or the second line, the first line of playing, I screwed up the ending measure on the snare. Second from the end. Couple of reading issues. Hooked on phonics did not work for me. Gotta get a refund. Chart 48. 1, 2, 1, 2, Better. My brain is buffering, warming up. This is a hard warm-up. 1, 2, 1, 2. Here we go. Alright, last chart. Then we'll stretch and massage, and then we'll get into the hard pattern. I mean, this one's hard too, but even harder. 1, 2, 1, 2. Ready? And... Sweet. Okay, so mostly technically proficient, some reading errors, and then my hi-hat messed up at one point, but otherwise it was mostly all right. Hard pattern. Difficult one to warm up with, but we did it. Okay, so it was mostly technically proficient. No way, no way. It already graduated from that? No, I feel like I want to do that again. So I'm going to say, even though it's not categorized as needs a lot of work, what happens is when I switched it over to technically proficient, I basically graduated it from it right here, and I don't want to do that yet. I feel like I want to do it at least one more day. So I'm going to say it needs a lot of work, even though it was mostly technically proficient, and I was making progress on it. So that way, next time, I'll have to go through it again. But the one that I'm going to play next, after I do the stretch and massage routine, is this one. So this is pattern number 53, and this is not in Dom's book. This is one that I made up. And it's another 3/4 pattern, a straight over swung pattern, but it's a Soca feel with the hi-hat. So I'll show you that here in a minute. But first, we're going to stretch and massage, and then we'll play through a bunch of different charts just with that pattern so I can try and train my brain to get used to it. Okay, so first one I'm going to do stretches the sides of the forearms. This stretch looks weird, but it feels really good. And you can find a better camera angle in the drumming lessons video called This Hand Routine Saved My Drumming. And it's got all these stretches and massages as well as some extra ones that I'm not demonstrating because I don't do rotary motions like Stevens grip or traditional. Next one I'm doing is stretching the underside of the forearm. So I'm just pulling back gently, so stretching along here. Trying to get everything nice and relaxed. And the other side, ooh, that feels good. Why is my left so tight? Who knows? Next is the top side of the forearm, right here. So instead of doing it one at a time, I'm just going to do it on my legs. It makes it go twice as fast. Efficiency. Oh, boy. And now I'm going to do thumb to thumb. Goes twice as fast this way. Do, 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 do. Ooh. Why is that finger so tight? Who knows? Oh. ASMR. Enjoy. Free of charge. Now, by the way, on my YouTube channel, Sometap, there's over 600 videos that are currently listed as members first. Every single one of them is coming out for free. So, for example, One of the drumming tips ones comes out on this Friday. And then the next one comes out the following Friday. But every single day there's a brand new play along that releases. So if you're in any of the playlists and you're like practicing through some stuff and you're like, oh, I really want to check out this video, it will come out for free. I promise. It's 99 cents if you want that early access to it, because it might be like a year and a half from now when it comes out, because, you know, there's over 600 of them. And there's a new one releasing daily. But because it might be so long, if you want that early access, it's 99 cents. But I promise it'll come out for free. So again, I don't sell books. I don't sell an app. I don't teach privately anymore. I don't sell courses, etc. So all my content is for free. Really scheduled to release for free. It's just I was creating so many of them, and I wanted to like play them on stream. I was like, oh well, I can actually gift like memberships for free each month, which I do on the 1st of each month, and then that way people could get early access. So it's kind of like a little bonus for stuff that I've already created. And so if you'd like that early access, you can get it. But again, it's coming out for free. And thank you for the people who have signed up. I appreciate it. The goal is to do this AdSense supported, which right now makes me like $1 a day. So not really much to live on, but we're working on it. Now the next massage that I'm gonna do is massaging the palm with the thumb, and then the fingers are massaging the back side of the hand. And then I've got one more quick massage that I'm gonna do for each one of the fingers. And then I'm gonna move over to the next pattern that you can see here from the vertical, that 3/4 Soca. The hi-hat pattern is straight. The snare and bass drum are swung, and you play them simultaneously, which makes your brain melt. At least it makes mine melt. Maybe you're better than me. I'm not very good at drum kit yet, so give it time. Okay, base the tip of each one of the fingers, so just massage them. Thank you for the reacts on the vertical. So at least 2, if not 3 times, depends on how your fingers are feeling. Just kind of wiggle your way down your fingers, massaging. So for each one of these stretches and the massages, you'll notice that I go from like the upper body basically to the lower body, or you can think of it as like larger muscle groupings to the smaller. And this just helps relax everything. So that way you too can be drumming when you're my age. Been playing almost for 30 years now. Mainly rudimental. Okay, so we're going to play through this pattern. So this pattern, I guess I should show it to you first. So just like the previous one where you have like the 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4, and you turn that into triplets, we're going to do that with a hi-hat soca pattern. So on a soca, you'd have basically a 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and. Okay, so that's what you'd be playing, and you'd go like that. Okay, cool. So, but this is actually going to, instead of go 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and, you're going to play it as triplets. Triplet, triplet, triplet. Buckets, 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 buckets. So it lands with the downbeat. But you're playing 3 hi-hat patterns in the space of 4 quarter notes. So the hi-hat pattern is straight, while you're playing swung on the snare drum, and anything longer than an 1/8 note is going on the bass drum. Okay, last time I did this, I warmed up with some permutations. So if we go to the home tab here, and we scroll down a little bit, we've got all the chop stuff. This is what I was practicing yesterday, specifically the shopping spree playlist, where there's 29 shopping sprees in there. There's all the grid stuff. But this is where I'm practicing right now, is the limb independence. But you know, there's more down here, and all the 16 plus hours of drumming tips in there. But on the side of here, so what I was doing is I was warming up with the permutations first, and then I got into the charts. But today, I'm going to try this on hard mode, and I'm just going to go straight into the drum charts and see if we can just wake my brain up to this particular pattern. So 2 days ago, when I did this, I did the first 20 charts. So I'm just going to go ahead and go to the next set. So that way I'm practicing sight reading by just going through new charts every single time rather than memorizing them. And in the timestamps of the description for all of these thousands of free play-alongs, you can select whatever BPM you want. In this case, I want to start at 100, and now it's counting off. 1, 2, ready, and. So again, there's 3 of these patterns the hi-hat patterns inside of the space of 4 quarter notes. So it's a 3/4 straight pattern, and I'm gonna read everything swung. 2, 1, 2, wish me luck. Thank you for the sub on YouTube. Oh, try it again. Oh, this melts my brain. This is why we're gonna sit with this for a while. 2, 1, 2, ready, and... hit my stick. Hi, hello on Instagram. How you doing today? Okay, this is going better than I thought it would, to be honest. So I just started learning this a month ago, and it was so bad I couldn't even play like the ostinato. Why, hello! How you doing on YouTube Vertical? Here we go. You just got out of the game called Vampire? Oh, is that like an older one that came out in like the mid-2000s, I think? Maybe I'm thinking of something else. Well, I hope it's good. 1, 2, 1, 2, here we go. Get it? Oh, we're getting it. I'm getting it better than I thought I would, to be honest. He's pretty old. He plays a vampire. That's a doctor. Oh, that's interesting. Huh. Sounds like a neat plot. 1, 2, ready, and... No! Oh, I hit my sticks again? Are you kidding me? I see how it is. Well, it was like fine, and then we get to the final chart, and my brain was like, nope, and then my hands were like, nope, because I kept hitting the stick underneath it. All right, let's try it again. So next set of charts, we're just going to go in the playlist, 26 to 30. And because it starts at 100, I'm just going to press 0 on the keyboard, and that's the shortcut to say, hey, start the video over. Quick, coffee. Let's hope it helps. Okay, 2, 1, 2, ready, and... What's weird about this one is even like quarter notes are hard. One, two, 1, 2, ready, and... Now I'm off. This keeps messing me up. The mouse keeps moving, keeps wiggling. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2. Here we go. Dang, I keep hitting my sticks. It's so annoying. So when doing this, I'm trying to do like a stick over stick crossover. You could also do like a wrist over wrist depending on your setup and whatnot. But I keep hitting my sticks and it's messing up the rhythms. And I have to play loud because of the drum trigger doesn't pick it up. Okay, so better with not hitting my sticks. Keeping this hi-hat independent of what's going on in the bass is difficult. So it doesn't mess with, like, the shup. So I was trying to focus on 2, 1, 2, here we go. I love you. Dang it, hit my sticks again. I'll show you, Dion, in a moment. Let me just finish this chart, and then I'll show you exactly where you can go for that. Good question. 2, ready, and... Oof. Oh, it's so difficult. By the way, that was Susie right there. If you knew Susie like I knew Susie, then you would like her too, like her too, like her too. This one is just kind of like a little inside joke. You know where to find the exercises? You just struggle with technique? Are you working on the 3s and 4 strokes playlist? So if you scroll down here, into the technique section, there's this playlist, that one. So what I'd recommend working on for these, my favorite out of all these different exercises is actually the isolated versions, the isolated 3s, and then there's also the isolated 4s, which is further down here. So these exercises, either without the release or with the release. The way that I worked on my 3s and getting them consistent is by actually doing it as double stops. So this particular exercise, when you're playing it, you'll do basically off the right, both, off the left, both. So the way that I got my 3s consistent, it's bouncing, and the 4s, is by doing it as double stops. When you do it as a double stop, you can hear when there's inconsistency. So if you're like this, and they're not lining up together, as they should. I wish this would stop bouncing. The double stops allow you to really hear it, but there's 2 different ways that you can play 3s and 4 strokes. One is to, like, actually physically stroke all of them, like with the wrist, so like... So I'm wristing all of these so I can play, etc. Going through it, whether it's a 3-stroke or a 4-stroke. And there's exercises that help with that, like 3-stroke strength, which is up at the top right here. So this one works on wristing out each one of the notes. So what it's doing, these are actually emphasis. I should have written them as tenutos, but it's at the beginning it says to play the accents 3 inches higher than the taps. So when you're going through this exercise, you're basically emphasize the first partial, and then the third partial, and then the second partial. Okay, so that way you can physically stroke out each of the 3 notes or 4 notes if you're working on a different exercise. But that is not what I recommend for when you're playing a fast 3-stroke or a fast 4-stroke. What you're actually doing is a controlled rebound. So you're doing a single stroke, single motion, where you are stopping after the third or fourth rebounds, as opposed to just doing like a continuous as many buzzes as you possibly can kind of a thing. You're basically trying to figure out the amount of downward force that's required to cause the stick to rebound at the rhythm that you want, and then close off, don't tighten, but stop the space to make it so that it stops on the third partial or the fourth partial, depending on what you're working on. And so that's what I work on with these isolated 3s and 4s. And this specific exercise is how I worked on my 3 strokes to make it so that I can add consistency to play them nice and fast, and to get it so that they sound good is the double stops in particular. So that way they sound good. Man, this thing is bouncing so much, it's like messing with the rhythms of it. So yeah, again, this is under the 3 and 4 stroke exercises playlist for people who aren't familiar with it. There's a ton of different exercises in here, but the isolated 3s and 4s are my favorite ways to work on the rebound strokes. But you need to figure out the amount of contact, the downward pressure. And I hesitate to say that word because you're not squeezing. You don't want tension. You want it to be as relaxed as possible. It's just downward force without like, so I'm not tightening it. And then you just need to figure out how much space is involved and how do you stop the stick without it tightening to get only 3 notes or only 4 notes when working on it. Another fun exercise, by the way, to get used to the that pressure change in particular is this one, the 1 2 1 3 1 4. So what you're doing on this, if you treat all of these as downstrokes, including these 8th notes, and what you're doing is changing how much pressure you're getting to get the 2nd note, the 3rd note, and then the 4th note, but you're just basically doing this the entire time, and you're either doing 3s, 4s, 2s, etc. Think of this kind of like as a downstroke pressure challenge, where you are going back and forth between single note, 2 notes, single note, 3 notes, single note, 4 notes, and then you're 4-2-1ing that. So you're getting used to those pressure changes to be able to rhythmically change from like 32nd note into a 6th tuplet, etc. But you're welcome. Great question. It's hard, but it takes time. Like for my my buzzes, they're actually 3 strokes. So I had a professor in college who had me do 3 strokes with buzzes, and so they're at a slight sweep, so that way you can go from the softer part of the drum to the louder part of the drum in the center. And so it makes it so that instead of having 3 notes where it decrescendos, it's actually 3 even notes. That's the goal with it. And so he wanted a 3, so that way when you played buzzes, it sounded like a sustain, zzz, as opposed to like zzz, 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 like it having an emphasis on like one hand, because they have like more strokes in that one hand than the other. And so he had me work on 3 strokes. And when I first like played a buzz during the lessons, he like actually like belly laughed at me and was just like, "You think that's a roll?" He like in a fun, like playful way. But like we spent like more than a month just working on that, just working on those 3 strokes. And then the exercise that I did was the isolated 3s exercise to work on that. So it's hard, but you know, give it time. The reason why I'm telling you that story is because I want people to understand that like it takes more time than you might think to practice. So like I've been drumming for almost 30 years and I still got plenty of stuff to work on, like all this limb independent stuff. But it takes a lot of effort to get good at something. So in these, like all these practice streams of like, the reason why there's almost 500 of them is because I'm still continuing on that grind. And like this pattern that I'm about to play, it like literally, I started it like what, 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I couldn't even play it. So the fact that like there's that much progress in that amount of time by doing this every other day for the limb independent stuff, like it just takes time. Be patient with it. If your 3s aren't better in a week, give it more time. Like one of the stories that I'll always say is that like Dom, the drum set professor at Arizona State University, Dom Moyo, he spent a whole year working on one measure, just refining one groove. So be patient. It takes time. And that dude started teaching college when he graduated from high school because he was just that good. Anyways, all right, so the pattern I'm playing is ridiculous. So it's a 3/4 straight over swung pattern. So buckets, buckets, buckets. So it's got that Soca feel in the hi-hat. But that's in, we're going to do 3 of those in the space of 4 quarter notes. So buckets, 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 and that's a straight pattern. Then we're going to play swung on the snare drum, and the bass drum is going to play anything longer than those 1/8 notes that are on the snare, okay? In all these thousands of play-alongs, you can pick whatever BPM. So if you're better at limb independence than I, cool. You can play this particular pattern all the way up to 240 if you go to a different playlist. Or these go as slow as 40 for the charts. So if you really want to slow it down, you certainly can. Whatever you want to do. It's your practicing. You do you. 2, 1, 2, already und. So it still doesn't sound good yet, and it's inconsistent, but there's huge progress overall with this pattern. 1, 2, 1, 2, here we go. Switch this mouse over. Stop it. That way. There we go. Okay, here we go. Again, chart number 32. Keep hitting my stick. Gotta stop that. 1, 2, ready, and... Almost fell apart there. Hence why we're practicing. Don't just practice the stuff you're good at. You won't make progress. There's a reason why I'm practicing this. It's because it's not good yet. 1, 2, ready, and... chart number 34. One, two, 1, 2, here we go. Alright, last chart for this set. Oh no. Oh no, this one is rough. Oh no. Nice work, this ain't easy. Yeah, 3/4 straight over swung is ridiculous. Wish me luck on this one. 1, 2, here we go. No! That's such a hard chart. Each one of these charts, like I wrote them to be like different, but that one, whew. So the patterns that I wrote, like none of them line up with the bar, so they all bleed over the bar, and it's written in 5. So 5/8. While you're playing the 3/4 straight over swung. Okay. Let's go to the next set. So this is 36 through 40. I wanted to get through at least 20 charts today with this. So when I'm reviewing something, I'll just go through like 5 of these different charts. But when I am like actively learning something like this particular pattern that I'm not good at, then I want to try and give my brain more time to process it and more time to sit with it. And then when I sleep at night, that's when you actually like solidify the things. So the more time I spend on it, like during these practice sessions, then the more of it will get like ingrained into my head when I'm sleeping. So then when I wake up and do this the next day, it gets better. All right, last set of 5 charts. And then maybe I'll review a pattern I actually know how to play. We'll see. 1, 2, 1, 2, here we go. Sorry, gotta flip the mouse over. Again, with this pattern, with the 3/4, even the quarter notes make it hard. Ah. That. Oops, read that wrong. Dang it, I'm totally messing this one up. So this one, is to give you a little like background information what's going on here. So I was like thinking about what I wanted to say about this, and I like messed up my playing, and then it was hard for me to jump back into it. So this technically only has 3 different lines. So this line right here, this line right here, and this line right here. Everything in between is actually a permutation of the line above it. So this one is shifting this whole line right here over by an 1/8 note. So it's the exact same quarter, 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 1/8, 1/8, 1/8, 1/8. So then 4 1/8 notes, 4 1/8 notes, we have 2 quarters, etc. So it's the exact same phrase, musically speaking, of the short long, and same thing for here. So that we take this line, we shift it over an 1/8 note. We take this line, we shift it over an 1/8 note. So this is to get you to hear the melody, but displacing it, which is like a fun little thing that you can do when practicing. A little challenge for you. 2, ready, and... Okay. 3 more charts. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, and... Dang it. This is why we're practicing it. I speed up the hi-hat part, which, you know, kind of the important part. 1, 2, 1, 2, here we go. All right, last chart. Doesn't look too crazy. I say with hesitation in my voice. Always like to scan the chart just to see if there's any surprises. 1, 2, here we go. Okay, so this pattern, because of the 3/4, it's so weird. So if you're playing a quarter note, so the first part on the first 2 quarter notes, so you have 1, 2, 3, and then it goes in between the triplets. Okay, so then it goes on the what is it, second note? Can't think about it. Man, my brain is fried playing through this. So when you play it, oh my goodness. Ugh, the way that lines up, triplet, 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 it's just so weird. Really messes with my head. It's a fun challenge though. I like it, but okay, so and to clarify, it goes on the downbeat, in between the notes, on the release, on the second partial. Triplet, then triplet, triplet, triplet with it. Triplet, 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 It's good. Cool. Okay, so that one still needs a lot of work. Still rough around the edges, but you know what? It's making progress slowly. That one needs a lot of work. Making progress. So if you go back to like the prior streams when I first started learning this, 3 or 4 weeks ago, it looks like, I couldn't even play like the ostinato pattern. So the buckets, 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 and make it sound okay. So the turn on carrot browsing. What is that? I'm not a bunny rabbit. Thanks so. So when you go to, it's spelled differently. Just making a joke. If you go to the home tab here, on the limb independent section, where it's got all these different like permutations and all the charts, both the straight and the swung ones, every single one of these playlist has the second video, which is how to develop limb independence on the kit. And if you go back to like the prior streams, like 3 weeks ago, you'll see that I started with the very first step in here that's outlined, which was literally just playing the ostinato. So the just doing this, and then just trying to get my other limbs to do something else, or to be able to talk, or to think about something else while I was playing this particular hi-hat pattern. And now I can do it, but back then I was like, too much. The next step of this that I spent, I don't know, it's probably like 2 weeks just working on, was just reading through with one limb these permutation exercises that are found in this particular playlist in here, okay? So just sitting there and just playing it with one limb. So in this case, like the snare drum. And then once you're able to get those down, then you go on to the next set of permutations, and then the next one. So there's a few of them that you can work on for one limb. Then add in the next limb. So in this case, this particular pattern has you play short notes on the snare, and then long notes on the bass drum. And so add in, like on these quarter notes right here, play those as bass drum, play these eighth notes right here as snare drums, etc. Okay? Then the next step is to actually like start to get into the charts. So the charts were what I was getting to. But it took me like 3 weeks just to be able to play this today. And it still did not sound good. I'm just telling you all this for clarification on like how long each one of these steps might take. It might take you like a month or two just to get through like 1 or 2 of these steps. It takes time to practice this kind of stuff. And I've gone through now over 50 other patterns that actually sound way better than this. But it took me like a year just to get all these 50 like down, practicing it every other day. It takes time to work on this. So start with some of the easier patterns. And again, these patterns are from Don Moyle's book. It's called 50 Ways of Syncopation. And he's got significantly easier ones than the one that I was just playing that I made up for fun. Don't jump into 3/4 straight over swung patterns. I wouldn't recommend that. But, you know, you do you. If you want to have no hair like myself, then go for it. And you'll end up pulling it out. Let me show you another pattern that you can do that is, it looks fancier than it is. It's actually less complicated, and we'll just kind of use this to demonstrate a less crazy pattern. So this one, all you're doing is this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and you actually don't even need the left side of your body while doing this. But the pattern, I'm actually going to play it as a V, or is it like what is that, a lesson sign, or greater. I don't know. I can't think right now. My brain is mush. But all you're doing is going here. This is on the and, 2, and. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And you can do this using like a Julie Spencer technique where you turn your wrist over. Or you can do it like a tenor drummer. This uses more energy to move more of your arm, and because you're likely not playing drum kit with another person, you don't have to worry about lining up your sound consistency with another person. So if you use a Julie Spencer technique, you use less energy and you can do this for longer. It just sounds less consistent, which on drum kit might make it sound groovier, but you know, you do you. So that's all you're doing with the right hand is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. While you just read through the patterns on the foot. So let's see here. Last time we did this, we did it at 115, and it was technically proficient and fun. Okay, well let's do it at 115 again. So I'm gonna go back to the home tab. I'm going into the limb independence section, and I'm gonna do straight chart, and I'll just pick like a random one. So click on the limb independence one, and because I'm doing this at 115, I'm going to go into here, straight drum charts, 100 to 159, and I'm going to pick a random one, 30, 60, 40. No, I just played that with the other pattern. Let's do one of these earlier ones. Sure, 6 through 10. I did not play this today. Pick new ones each day. Again, practice sight reading. Don't just grind out the same one over and over. Even if you like it, you'll get back to it. Give it time. Here we go. 2, 1, 2, ready, and. So again, you're just playing eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and on the right hand. It looks fancier than it is. It's just literally eighth notes with 2 and 4. Doing ride in between. Ready, and. Now, if you want to get extra fancy, just add it in the left hand. Just fill in. Whoops. Missed the cymbal. And for these like ostinato lines at the top where it's just repeating, you can either repeat the ostinato or you can improvise. Sweet. 2 more chats. Feels way more comfortable than the previous ones I was just working on. This is my stick underneath the cymbal. Whoopsies. 1, 2, here we go. Read that wrong. Really need to get that refund for Hooked on Phonics. It did not work for me. Keep reading rhythms wrong today. Cool. All right, so that pattern. Mostly technically proficient. A couple of reading errors. Also musical. Adding in some different timbres, textures every now and then. But overall, had fun with it. Now, this spreadsheet, again, is me keeping track of how am I doing over time when practicing this stuff. I skipped all these ones that sound musical and technically proficient. And for the first hour, I just grinded out working on pattern 52 and 53, which I'm not good at yet on both of these. Even though we made progress on both of them, they still don't sound good, so I keep coming back to them each time I'm practicing this, and I'm skipping all these ones that I'm good at. I've seen many students over the decades that I've taught who focus on all these ones that are above it, the ones that they're like, I already know how to do this, I'm going to play this because it feels comfortable, and I know how to do it. Don't do that. It's a waste of your time. Unless you're like actively refining it to try and get that like 1%, a little nudge better on it, it's better to spend most of your time working on the stuff that you're not good at yet. That's what I highly recommend. Now, if you want to be able to get your own spreadsheet like this that can keep track of like, well, what's your starting BPM? What's your average BPM? How's your average quality of playing? All this kind of stuff. You can actually find that on my home tab of YouTube. Let me show you where you can get that. So if you go to the home tab of YouTube, there's over 2,000 exercises on here for free. We've got chop stuff. This is what I was working on yesterday, specifically working out of the shopping spree playlist, which has 29 shopping sprees in there. So a lot of Blue Devils and Vanguard old school ones. So check them out if you're interested. There's over 1,000 grid variations inside of here. Again, click on these headers to show them all. This is where I was practicing today, was a limb independence one. Every one of these playlists links to the second video, which is how to develop limb independence on the kit. So if you're not sure how to do this, check that one out. There's almost 500 marching bass stuff. There's a bunch of drumline cadences. And then there's over 200 technique exercises and over 400 sight reading exercises, and there's over 400 technique exercises. Now, inside of here, the tips and lessons, this is where I've got like scripted lessons, like me showing you how to hold traditional grip or whatever. Then there's all the almost 500 live streams where I'm just literally practicing stuff I'm not good at yet to show you here's what it looks like or what it can look like to practice. But in the drumming tips playlist, there are over 100 videos in here on how to improve. Now, the one that I was referring to for the journal is number 74. So in drumming tips number 74, how journaling can help drummers. When you click on this one, inside of here, it's got the usual first link, which is to get to my website. But it says, if you'd like to create your own drumming progress journal, here's a very basic template. And so when you click on this, it actually opens up a new window and it asks, do you want to make a copy of this spreadsheet? And this spreadsheet is just a template. So it has you can fill it with whatever you want. You just copy and paste these to make it so that you can keep track of the average on this. So you can fill it in with any pattern you want, any like rudimental exercise, concert exercise, or whatever it is that you're working on. And that way you can keep track of this over time. So you can see, okay, well, am I making progress on this? Am I getting better on this? So some of these I haven't played in a while. So when I go back to it, I'll be like, wait, how fast was I playing it? Oh, I played it at 150 last time. Let me try it again. And maybe I'll try it at like 155 or something. So this is a great way to just like kind of document how you're doing over time. Be able to see improvements. Again, column A, keeping track of the average, but also to like come back to something you haven't done in a while and go, oh wait, how do I do this again? What speed was I playing it at? And again, that's drumming tip number 74. And there's over 100 more that you can check out in here with a lot more tips from questions that I've answered across all these few hundred live streams. I'm going to call it here, and I'm going to get ready for Silk Song. Trying to beat that before Ghost of Yote comes out next week. So stay tuned for that. Oh, I hear myself talking in my headphones. It's playing that video. Cool. So it'll probably be about 15 or 20 minutes until I can get this set up because I got to move the entire desk and whatnot for these drum kit streams. So tomorrow I'll be working on technique, and then 2 days from now I'll be back on the drum kit working on some more limb independent stuff, specifically working on these same patterns. If you enjoy any of these thousands of free play-alongs, just share it with somebody else. And again, if you see any videos that say members first, they're all scheduled to release for free. It's just there's over 600 of them, so it might be a while. So for example, these sight reading exercises won't come out for like, I think, November of next year, something like that, because I've got so many videos scheduled. So if you want the early access, it's 99 cents. This is the only like thing that is technically paid for, but again, it's optional because these are all coming out for free in the future. But the join button takes you to here, which shows that it's 99 cents, and that gives you early access to over 600 videos. But again, I don't sell an app. I don't sell a course. I don't teach privately anymore. I don't sell books. I'm trying to give this all away for free. So just wait, and this will come out, or 99 cents, whatever you want to do. But I'm going to call it here. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and goodbye.